Uh, all right, everyone. Welcome back to this channel. Again, in this video, we're going to start theory session. So one by one, unfortunate thing that happened is that in the last video, right, I like recorded like the whole video, explained a lot of things, reading the whole paper, and we have came down to like some very great insights, I should say. But then I figured out that I switched off the audio. I didn't connect the audio, which is quite unfortunate. But anyway, I don't seem to like cover everything because this series is more like a documentary rather than a completely educational one. But still, like I'm going to like summarize all the things that I have learned in the last video from the last video through the last video, whatever. And then also we are going to start writing. I'm going to give you a preface of like what I have wrote until now, just like an introduction. And after that, uh, sorry. And then we are going to go to some papers and maybe try to read some papers, at least this paper, conscious AI paper. And then in the next video, we're going to determine what other details we should care about. And in the next video, we'll go to pave our road further. But for now, I think this paper should be good. So what I have seen through this paper is that there are like different types of theories about consciousness, and the one that is very much relevant for the further, for this paper is this theory, social self theory. Again, we have other theories too. These theories, uh, the fellow psychological theory. So we have, I have actually summarized here through ChatGPT. So first we have representationalism, in which external objects are represented and details about them or interaction about them or ideas about them are created. So perceiving external environment, that is like representationalism in very high level. And then we have self-representation theory, which is also kind of similar. Uh, different. They're like different mental states and all. Okay, that is kind of similar to representationalism. Might not be very relevant now. And then multiple drafts theory, in which the theory is like, uh, you know, there might be like different locations for different activities and all. That is one theory. And then we have global workspace theory, uh, in which, well, there might be like different thoughts, and each thought compete for attention. That is the global workspace theory. And the social self theory, which is probably the most relevant theory for us, is this theory. In this theory, consciousness is viewed as a social phenomenon in which uh, communication between agents and exchanging of symbols and creating of symbols and exchanging of meaning forms the basis of like consciousness. Might actually be very abstract at the start while reading this, but actually it does kind of make sense, right? So the creation of language, the creation of meaning, and the creation of, you know let's say you have an environment, right? Perceiving that environment and creating thoughts and symbols and conveying meaning, that is actually consciousness. And then having an identity for yourself, right? So let's say there are two agents, two AI agents, let's say. And then there is a artificial environment. Let's say we create an artificial environment, and then there may be some like artificial constants and dynamic variables or dynamic uh, metrics or values. And then these AI agents are able to like keep track of these metrics and perceive them based on their point of view, and then also communicate their ideas and agree on symbols, or maybe even create a language, or maybe even create a language for themselves, agree on creating a language. Uh, so that might be like possible. So that is actually referred to as consciousness, in which each agent. So let's say there will be some sort of communication between the agents, and then each agent also creates an identity for itself. Identity is also associated with consciousness. So creation of an identity. So when you are communicating with each other, so this relative communication or relation creates your own identity. So each agent creates its own identity, and also if it is if an agent has provided a message or provided a query, it will also imagine how the other agent feels or other agent might respond, right? So that is also very important, I think. Moral, when we come to morality or consciousness, we also want the user or user in the case of AI user. We also want the AI model to think about how the user may react or how useful the information might be to the user, right? So think about the user not only for yourself, and also think about the internal state. Think about the internal state. You get the idea, right? Internal state is what is happening inside, with thoughts and all. So the internal state of other agent will also be assumed, and how they might respond will also be assumed. And all these things are considered whenever we build an environment in which communication takes place. And the paper also proposes that we should have you know like a the AI should create their own languages. So sorry, language. So we should have like two agents and an environment and some dynamic variables and some constants. And these where AI agents might actually create a language for themselves. Should actually create language for themselves and agree on symbols. That was also emphasized in this paper. Um, Actually, kind of interesting. So yeah, and we have like five propositions. Yeah, five propositions have been stated and actually proved. So for consciousness to work, this is the first proposition. Two AI agents must be able to communicate with each other, and they should be in like a shared environment. Only then consciousness will be able to emerge. They have proved that also. Yeah, not like they have given like a possible proof. And then also for consciousness to emerge, AI agents must exchange novel signals. Novel signals is also this AI agents should not only like predict or communicate like or just predict. They should predict random ideas. Not just ideas that already exist, right? A lot of AI models are just trained on training data, and they just try to replicate the training data, which is not how consciousness works. So even creativity might be a relevant word. So new ideas, random ideas that are meaningful, not completely random and completely useless. So when these AI agents are communicating with each other in this artificial environment that we have created, so these AI agents they should kind of uh, not just send repetitive signals that are already seen in the training data, or signals that are kind of known, but signals that are random, right? Random new signals that have not been seen until yet. So this randomness is associated with hallucination in the large language models. So maybe it is nice to so maybe hallucination is required, right? Maybe we need hallucination. So maybe hallucination helps us to create creativity, which you said is associated with consciousness. So that is also mentioned. Yeah, these novel signals might actually have meaning. That is a third proposition. And then the fourth proposition is that AI agents must have an internal state, and they should have its own internal state, and they should understand the internal state of the other AI agent, and then only their own AI agent should create an identity for itself, like what it stands for and what. Yeah, the creation of identity. It's actually quite ambiguous. We can define what each agent might pick, and then they should also like understand the internal state of the other agent, and also they should be able to communicate their internal state. That is also required for consciousness. And then the fifth proposition is that AI agents must communicate their internal state of time varying symbol manipulation through a language they have co-created. So they should co-create a language. That is also emphasized, which is probably quite confusing to me even now. So these AI agents should experience time varying symbols or time varying metrics, and they should keep track of these time varying symbols or variables, you could say. And then they should identify this dynamic uh, what we get by dynamic variables. They should understand these dynamic variables. For example, time is a dynamic variable that just changes constantly. Right? They should understand time, or they should understand some dynamic variable in their environment. You would have like some variables that are changing in their own artificial environment, and then these agents should be able to perceive this signals, and then communicate it to the other agent based on their own point of view. That's also required for consciousness, right? And then the sixth proposition is that uh, onlookers should be able to observe two agents reaching an agreement about at least one of their state of time variable maximization. They should agree on what they define each dynamic variable. They should understand these dynamic variables, and then communicate and agree on uh, these symbols of time variable manipulation to understand what it is, right? So that is basically the proposed theory, or yeah, that is what this paper proposed. So that is actually quite interesting, right? So now we'll go through this part which we haven't covered, discussion part, service implications and all. And after that, I'm going to like start writing. I'm going to start writing, right? I'm going to start writing. Uh, and also maybe we'll decide like if we have to like read any other papers. If any other papers is interesting. I found this one like I haven't like searched for it or evaluated it. I just searched and searched for moral AI, and this paper came up towards theory-based model AI. Model AI with aggregating models based on normative ethical theory. Okay, interesting. Okay, again we'll get to this paper too. I'll download this paper. What can I name it? Just keep this title as that. I'll save it. I'll download it. And also we have another paper, AI and moral psychology, which I think is actually quite a long paper. Reading through it might actually not be very efficient. So I'll like summarize it through a language model. Okay. So yeah, discussion. Let's get to discussion. Service implications. What is implication? Okay, conclusion. Yeah, a conclusion for that. The conscious AI has many fundamental implications for our society, or maybe implication might be use applications, maybe something like that. That comes out to me. This concept can change how humans perceive AI and how they interact with AI-based technology. It will necessitate new laws and bring forth concepts such as AI ethics and rights. Most importantly, it is going to affect the job market for humans, especially the higher end of the job market in service industry. From a utilitarian perspective, AI agents are used as service agents. They are built to help us with general or specific tasks. In other words, they are of service to us. Right? Conscious AI, by definition, in the presented theory, also must be an empathic AI, at least for its own kind, meaning that it would be able to express its own internal state and understand other AI agents' internal states as well. According to Huang and Rust, this is the most advanced form of intelligence that we may lack complete control over its course of evolution. Empathic AI is predicted to have the most considerable impact on service jobs that are formerly thought to be immune from being filled by agents. So what we see, conscious AI by definition presents theory also must be an empathic AI for its own kind, meaning that it will be able to express its own intelligence and understand other AIs. I mean, it doesn't only have to be like AI agents. Again, we don't even have to like create an own AI or AI language. We don't have to look at AI as other species. It is clearly not another species. It is simply a mathematical model of all the human interaction and all the human text. It's not necessarily another species, I should say. At least we should say that it's a species, hopefully that will achieve consciousness. Anyway, I know we want the AI to understand the other humans well. Empathy, to put it simply, is the ability to put oneself in the place of other. Very, very, very wonderful definition, right? I'll just copy it and else paste it there. Paste it my notepad that I've created in the last video. And unluckily, yeah, there's no audio in the last one. Yeah, so what is the fifth law? Yeah, be explainable, be observable. After it's deleted, okay. Maybe I'll write it afterward. This is a very important note. Empathy is put simply is the ability to put oneself in the place of the other. It is known what it is likely like to be the other. In other words, empathy means to arouse in ourselves the whole meaning of symbols we are receiving. For cognitive and affective symbols we are receiving from another entity. The theory of mind also assumes empathy to be the most critical indicator of a fully developed human consciousness. This also does seem pretty relevant. Theory of mind also assumes empathy to be the most critical indicator of fully developed human consciousness. Interest. Yeah, I'll just you could just like get all these quotes inside these notes. So each for each paper, I'm going to like create a set of notes. Again, there is a lot of elaboration that we could do these notes, or we could just do it now in this video. I'll just we'll do it. Consequently, one can expect that AI agents on their path towards a fully developed consciousness will get the ability to empathize with each other and maybe with other conscious entities in their environment. Okay, I mean, not only with AI, maybe with humans, maybe understand humans' emotions, what humans may feel like. That is also kind of interesting. Considering the enormous implications of consciousness, of conscious and eventually empathic AI, implications of conscious and empathic. We need to detect the possibility of consciousness as early as possible in the process of AI agents progression towards acquiring intuition and empathy. We need to ready ourselves for such possibilities by starting the discussions on AI-related laws, regulations, and ethical issues. With the prospect of conscious AI, we'll be facing some interesting ethical issues about the right to live or exist for those agents. Okay, that is okay. The critical question is the critical question to consider is whether we can unplug or delete an AI agent that is determined to be conscious. As a carbon-based consciousness, do we have any inherent right or supremacy over silicon-based consciousness? If such a thing ever comes to existence, the right to exist is a fundamental issue culture that leads to philosophy of service and what it means to have conscious AI in serving humans. Do we need a new labor rights pertaining to the use of AI in services? Especially on this philosophical concepts, there are many more imminent legal and ethical issues that need to be considered as a result of this prospect of conscious AI. Personal responsibility, for example, is a major one. Basically, there needs to be clear laws and regulations in place that denote who is responsible for what. By the time that AI agent reach empathic level of intelligence or become fully conscious, finally, as interpreting as it is, as tempting as it is to dwell on the benefits of conscious and empathic AI, we also need to think of the consequences of millions of service jobs that will be lost to empathic AI and prepare our organizations and societies for such possibilities. One of the implications of such a tremendous transformation in the job market might be the need of a universal based income or guaranteed employment to support the many people who will be out of work. Yeah, again, a lot like economic models may be changing. Yeah, they may like be like some shift. Like I'll tell you, I think the AI reformation is going to be most influential one, the most probably the greatest reformation in terms of the scale. Like not like yeah, it will be like great reformation. A lot of things are going to change, or maybe they will not, or maybe they will not. Like I don't know. Like when it comes to industries and organizations, like large industries, of course, AI will be used to automate everything, like everything that is possible. AI is going to be used to automate, especially when it comes to industries and organizations. But maybe when it comes to like small towns and maybe self businesses and all that, maybe it may take some time because still there are like a lot of small shops and a lot of smaller services that humans are working on now. A lot of industries, well, they are not maybe equipped enough now, at least for now, to use AI to completely like automate their services. Automate their services might actually not be very uh, large scale at first, so it will be happen very slowly. or maybe not very slowly, but slowly, of course. So yeah, the creation of a new social structure or system is very much necessary. Um, okay. So empathy is also found to be positively and strongly correlated with trust in interpersonal relationships, in which people tend to trust each other's recommendation and advice. Hence, empathic AI will also have the ability to change the human AI relationship as people come to trust AI and advise AI advice and actions, even in hedonic tasks over advice and actions from another human. Empathic AI can also have a profound impact on service quality evaluations by customers who favor AI agents or human, because AI agents, even in their current stages, can easily surpass human AI agents in other important areas of service quality, such as service standards, responsiveness, and reliability. For sure. Our propositions for conscious machines require them to communicate their internal state and their changes over time to each other through their own co-created language. If we can somehow translate and understand such communication, it can lead to possibly strong human machine bonding. Variation of such bonding currently exists with brands, first products, and service providers. Okay. Okay. Such bonding can ultimately affect the perception of customer loyalty as an antecedent of social service quality. Uh, Artificial intelligence and practical implications. Although conscious AI might seem far out of reach for the majority of experts in the field, there are records that some AI agents may already have begun communicating with each other using novel symbols and unknown languages. In 2017, numerous news outlets reported a story that Facebook had to shut down AI chatbots that developed their own language to talk to each other. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Bots chatting with each other. That is absolutely interesting. That is very good. I had absolutely that was 2017. This Facebook doesn't just chatbots to try and negotiate with each other over trade, attempting to swap cards, balls, and books, each of which were given a certain value. But they quickly broke down, and these robots appeared to chant at each other in language that they each understood. Yeah, it's not very interesting. Not very interesting. Yeah, absolutely not. It absolutely is not. Because well, I should probably say yeah. Maybe I'm being too rude, but yeah, I mean yeah. It's not like consciousness or something. They've just agreed on. It's like they both like fell short of actual English. They have created their own language. They have created their own symbols, which how AI is trained in general, right? It's not something very new, but anyway, interesting. Uh, right. However, a close examination found that this new language did not satisfy the signal novelty. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The novelty requirement. Yet the randomness, the newness, the ideas, no, there. Yeah, there's nothing. CRISPR's proposition. According to Coursera, the AI chatbots use existing words from their training. Yeah, that is what it is. AI chatbots were using extracted features, words based on their numerical representations and their calculated probabilities to achieve their desired outcome. Thus, they used English language words in a seemingly new order, not complying with English grammar and structure that was empty of meaning for AI agents other than their associated numerical values and the calculated probabilities of how likely each word was going to help the chatbot meet their target. Uh, Turing's version of the thinking machine has shaped the AI field since its inception. Creating a machine to achieve language indistinguishability from humans has been, and to a large degree still is, the main goal of AI field. In this paper, we have proposed that the thinking machine could be a conscious machine, one with an internal state that enables it to think without necessarily achieving a language capability indistinguishable from humans. They, in fact, must first create their very own language, before they learn how to communicate in our language. This opens a new world of possibilities for AI research and gives this field a new goal to consider. It introduces a paradigm shift in thinking about AI agents and hence in their designing and implementation. we call for AI research and practitioners consider the possibility of conscious AI. Although we have provided some general criteria for signal novelty and recognizable responses pertaining to our proposition 2 and 6, more research is needed to further clarify these criteria by developing specific technical requirements within the context in which AI agents are being deployed. In other words, what could be considered an emergent novel symbol in AI communication from a technical standpoint? Considering the evolution of language in humans, we can see that early symbols were not entirely disconnected from the environment. For example, early humans mimic bird calls and animal sounds as symbols to create a shared understanding and convey their meaning. However, one could say their miming of a bird call or animal sound differed sufficiently from the actual calls and sound, but other humans recognize their difference while also recognizing their symbolic meaning. We call for more research on how the inception and evolution of human language can inform the technical specificity of signal novelty and the evolution of an AI specific language. Related research on consciousness. Uh, in developing our theory of AI consciousness, we borrowed from philosophical theories of consciousness that focus on the individual mind and its internal process, and also borrowed from the social psychological perspective of consciousness. Okay. Consciousness, that post consciousness is a social phenomenon. However, our theory of consciousness does not subscribe entirely to any of these two traditions. Okay. We believe consciousness is an emergent phenomenon in that it emerges from the co-creation of a language between two minds that communicate their internal states and that changes over time. In our theory, each individual mind needs to have its own internal state and also observe it. However, this is not enough for the emergence of consciousness. There needs to be another individual with independent internal state that can transition to a similar state to agreed upon symbols and communication between the two. One mind alone cannot attain consciousness because it needs another mind to confirm what it is like to be the other. If there is no other, there is no consciousness. Again, the same ideas, as I've shared before. But I really wished, that the last video had its audio, right? And I really would like that. Yeah, I really wish you could like listen to the last video. We have like learned a lot, so much stuff. Uh, anyway, the conclusion. In this paper, we have envisioned the possibility of conscious AI and introduced a theoretical framework to identify the requirements by which consciousness can emerge in AI agents. Further, we introduce another aim for AI research and practice contrary to the current domain paradigm of creating machines that are linguistically indistinguishable from humans. We also discussed that the consciousness in AI would inevitably lead to empathetic AI with tremendous implications for society in general, and specifically for the service industry that traditionally is thought to be more resilient in the face of steady rising AI capabilities. We further noted the implications of fully developed AI consciousness and suggested possible avenues of research and discussion for the future. We also reviewed reports that could indicate that conscious AI already exists, and we found that the reported communication does not satisfy the criteria set forth by our proposed theory. We also briefly discussed the implications of the proposed theory in the context of research on consciousness. Ultimately, we call for more research to develop refined technical criteria to recognize these signs of emergent AI consciousness. Interesting, very much interesting. Uh, so, what like so just like just taking some time to refine the ideas of what we have learned. So the creation of a language, the co-creation of a language, the agreement of on symbols, agreeing on some symbols, some meanings, and then having their own internal states. Each AI should have its own internal states, its own identity, and then it should understand how other person feels like. That is empathy. Right? That is what empathy is. The understanding of the internal state of the other agent or the other person. Uh, that is what empathy is, and conveying their own internal state. identifying environmental changes, and then conveying that based on that own point of view. Uh, that is consciousness. That's how consciousness can be achieved. Uh, yeah, it is actually quite a nice paper. Quite some good ideas we have seen from these two people. Hadi, I can like pronounce the name. So yeah, what do we have in the notes here? How do we have everything? Yeah, this might actually be our uh, takeaway from this research paper. This one notes might actually be our takeaway. I wonder like how like for how much time did I like shoot this video? I do wonder. Do you have like option to look at that? All right, everyone. So yeah, you made it. I think we could like yeah. So I'll just show you the research the paper that I have wrote. You know, it's not like own ideas. No, again, no novel ideas. So yeah, I was just like again, I had like absolute no ideas. Again, I'm going to like change the title and all. I mean, I was just like started writing the paper. So in this paper, I've basically like until now at least, I have like listed the different fine tuning techniques for preference optimization, optimizing preferences, building ethical AI. Uh, so first of all, I just wanted to, when I started like think about writing a paper, and I thought about maybe mainly using like mainly specifying technical methods of preference optimization. So there are many technical methods. Just like fine tuning, I just want to focus on fine tuning and prompt engineering in general. But then I have changed my mind after, of course, after thorough researching, after thorough thinking and researching and investigating. So maybe we have to like you know in order to like actually, of course, I'll include the technique also. I'll also like include these techniques, and then maybe after that, after like listing all the techniques, maybe come to a conclusion that maybe for the long term, maybe these techniques are well not necessary, right? I mean, of course, these techniques might actually help, right? Even prompt engineering techniques might actually help, but then maybe for the future, maybe as data changes and all, this techniques might not actually be that relevant, right? So and also, right, when using these techniques, there can like you are basically having a sample question and then two sample answers in which one is preferred and one is dispreferred. You are fine tuning the model on this data, which is actually quite, I would say, quite simple, right? In which in human morality is actually quite complex. Understanding the preferences of humans is actually very much complex, and morality is actually quite complex. That it cannot just be understood by two simple question, preferred and dispreferred answers. It cannot simply be understood by that, and then and also morality might actually be changing, right? Different new ideas of moral might be created, and also these are not really efficient, right? These are simple models, and if you want to like use AI, apply AI to much large number of industries. If you want to like actually bring the AI revolution, we should make sure the AI is conscious enough, is responsible enough. So maybe responsibility is something that maybe it's not achieved from this. Maybe we need something better. Maybe not only like coming to morality, but consciousness in general, ethicality in general, understanding, understanding in general, responsibility in general. So maybe that is what we need. Not simply preference optimization, fine tuning techniques. Maybe so that is what I will I will write in this paper. Highlight the flaws of fine tuning, what we are missing and what we really want. Uh, Fine tuning. Again, I'll share these papers. and also we have I'll search more papers. I'll try to see if there are more papers, and I will write all that. So until now, I have wrote these techniques, reinforcement learning with human feedback. I have again I have separate video on this in my YouTube channel. If you are interested, please check that out. And then there is RL AIF with AI feedback, automating the labeling process. And then we have safe RLHF, in which further constraints should be added, helpfulness and harmlessness. So how helpful the model is and how harmless the model is, both these constraints should be added through the model. And then we also have direct DPO, which is the new invention, I could say, in which the complex RLHF base is, substituted with simple binary classification laws, almost very interesting. And then constant DPO, which is adding further constraints on DPO, and then counterfactual DPO, in which the process of labeling is automated in DPO. And then also I'll also I'll also try to add some more techniques, maybe. It will be helpful for the reader to understand the techniques in general. And then I'll after that I will write the about consciousness and morality and what we really want. I'll just try to research and analyze that in this paper, and I will write all that stuff. And then also what we have learned to this, through this paper, what approaches we have learned, and maybe and maybe possible edits to these ideas of this paper. All these papers we'll also try to do. So that is it for this video. I think I'll end it there. I don't know, maybe this video is a little shorter than the other ones. Maybe it is. I don't know. So thank you for watching again. So I hope people will be watching this. Hopefully people will watch it. So yeah, in next videos, I'll start writing the papers. Start writing the paper and the information. Again, if you are interested, if you have any comments, any details that you think might be useful for this paper, please do comment. I mean, I will try to credit your ideas. Thank you. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.